Hey Internet, it's your old friend Dominic here with the All-American Casino Guide. And if you're new to this channel, then let me tell you, we're a channel dedicated to providing you with all the tips, tricks, tutorials, and sometimes trivia you need to know about casinos and casino games. Now, we have here our late night poker tournament. And just to be a little different, in this corona-ridden, apocalyptic future of tomorrow, we're gonna play Omaha. Now, Omaha and Texas Hold'em are almost identical to each other. The only big difference is that you have 4 cards instead of 2 cards in your hole, and you must use 2 cards from your hole in order to complete your 5-card hand at the showdown. Here's the first hand. Gotta deal 4 cards, so the dealing takes a little while. Okay, so Papa Boonga has 2 queens, which is a very nice thing to see. 6-2, also a nice thing to see. Red Star, a pair of aces and a pair of 4s. Now you think bullets, there is going to be an automatic win, but in a game like Omaha, which has stringent rules of how you construct your hand at the showdown, this is not necessarily an automatic bid that just because he has 2 aces, he's in a clear-cut position. Now, obviously, the numbers on the board read 34.62% currently. Now, that's to be expected right now, especially with some of the other hands out there. So right now, we have Jigglypuff waiting to act. They're holding just a pair of 5s and 3-2. So they got, a couple diamonds. I mean, they're really, that's the thing, is you have so many options right off the bat. So just like in Texas Hold'em, with Omaha, you have to not really think about your hand as a hand until you have at least seen the flop. So getting to that flop and those pre-flop bets and being aggressive to get people out of the hand is the most important thing. You want to make sure that any hand that you're going to play, you want to have as little competition with as possible. That's always been my philosophy. Some people disagree with me and say it's best just to kind of sneak in there, get some free cards or free look at some cards. But if you get a look at your cards, they get a look at the cards too. So I don't like that. I want them to fold the winning hand before, I never want them to even have a shot at it. So here we have 7 of hearts, 5 of hearts, queen of diamonds. Okay, so right now, obviously the big winner person you're thinking is gonna win this, obviously, is Papa Boonga. And he's the first to make a declarative bet action here. It looks like he went, can't see his exact bit from here, but all right, seems substantial enough that Mr. Nobody is considering his options. He's looking, I mean, he's got so many different options around him. I mean, obviously he's got a pair of 5s, but he doesn't have very much other than that. Remember, he's got to take 2 cards, so he can't even really hope for a flush at this point. So you got to consider these things. Even if all the cards for the rest of the board come up hearts, he still is not in contention for that flush draw. So then we have Pocahontas here. Got a pair of queens, and thinking that's going to be enough to carry her on. Also, she's got those 2 hearts, so she's feeling pretty confident. She has the exact opposite level of confidence that Mr. Nobody has. So here we have Jigglypuff folds the hand, Red Star, getting explained to by Papa Boonga. Whenever I get explained my options by a player who has already made a bet in the hand, I never take that information very close to the heart. Now here's a perfect example. He has talked him into laying down a pair of aces. So Papa Boonga showing he has clear-cut table talk skills. This is indicative of a player who knows how to manipulate the social aspect of the game, reading players. And in fact, when it comes his round of betting, I think he's going to step up his bet and push all in. I think he was just doing a chip count, so he hadn't made a proper bet. So I'm not going to say he was string betting here. But yes, he is making an all-in declaration. He's just getting a full chip count for the other players to know, essentially, how hard he's pushing in on this hand. Remember though that he's always got at this point is three of a kind. Mr. Nobody folds the hand easily. Pocahontas, seeing that they're being put into an all-in position as well, and them only holding a pair of queens at this point, and not even knowing that the other 2 queens are already spoken for, they're pretty much drawn dead, short of runner jack or something crazy like that. It's pretty well decided. 3 queens, it's a fairly good hand. I mean, there's not going to be many more queens coming to help out anybody, but so really, okay, there's a 10. It's pretty much non-existent. Yep, there we go. 6 of diamonds, that's not going to help anybody. So that's going to be a full win for Mr. Papa Boonga, who's going to be taking the entire chip stack. Now, there is a variant to Omaha that I have in past played with friends, Omaha High-Low, where you essentially split the pot in 2 piles, and eventually you go ahead and you have a high hand and a low hand, and you can use the same cards or different cards. Okay, so here we have the next hand. We fast forward to it's kind of all tied up here really, but the odd advantage goes to Jigglypuff, who's got 8-5 on suit and 4-3 on suit, spades and or rather clubs and spades respectively. Pocahontas has a fairly decent hand. Mr. Nobody really just hoarding clubs. See, this is actually bad. You think because you got that many clubs, that's good, for a possible flush draw. But you have so many clubs at this point. The odds are there's not going to be that many clubs left in the deck for them to show up in a flush. And because so many players get hole cards, it's another reason why flushes don't happen nearly as often as you think they do. Really, straights become the thing. The mid-level or big hand, or I think that becomes bottom tier. Normally it's like high end of mid-level tier hands, a straight, but now it becomes like bottom of high tiers, because like you see full houses fairly often. Okay, so Papa Boonga's got a pair of kings versus Red Star's pair of queens. Again, we already talked about the club situation. There's so many clubs already spoken to by the players. We have 8 clubs, 9 clubs gobbled up by the respective hands. So I don't think there's even enough. There's barely enough clubs in the deck to actually get a flush for the 3 players here who have clubs in the hand. Papa Boonga with his 2 diamonds, that's at least he's got something. He's probably got a better chance of seeing a flush in this particular hand. I'm just looking at the cards preamble. Obviously this is not information that you commonly are going to have at the table. You have to look at your own cards and think about that. But knowing the blocker cards, that's the important thing. Knowing which cards are in your hand, which means they can't be in anybody else's hand. That's really the important thing here. So we have Mr. Nobody making a substantial bet. Pocahontas is already out. Jigglypuff considering their options, seeing how many white chips they're going to have to throw on the pile in order to match Mr. Nobody's bet. It's like all the kings are already spoken for. It's like you don't know what's out there, but you have to just know what's in your hand, and see what's out in the community pool and think about what other people could be potentially holding. It's an interesting game, Omaha. It really changes the whole dynamic of the game by virtue of you having more of these hole cards and being required to use 2 cards, not being able to make a hand solely out of community cards. Okay, so here we have the 7 of diamonds, the 10 of hearts, and the queen of spades. So that helps obviously Red Star, who kind of inversely has the same hand that Papa Boonga had in the previous hand we looked at. 3 queens here, but then of course, the jack, he's in a pretty good position for a possible straight draw, but 3 queens already, he pushes out a good bet. It pushes out Papa Boonga and Mr. Nobody. Pocahontas is already out of hand. Jigglypuff's the last to act, and I think they're going to go ahead and see some action on this because they're contemplating their move. I don't know what they exactly see that I don't see. They technically have odds of a flush still happening, but other than that, I'm not really. The 4 of diamonds puts them in a really bad position because now all they have is a pair of 4s. As a matter of fact, it puts them in a no-win position. They're literally drawing dead. So, they could check their way to the river, but I'm not going to, of course. being merciless, knowing there's just like nothing out there. And I mean, they just paired up. I mean, 2 pair is not gonna really be the big win here. They think it's going to be. All right, so they're counting up their chips. They're going to be going in for an all-in, but it's really nothing that's going to fix anything here. Okay, 2 of diamonds. There we go. There would have been those diamonds to get the flush draw for Papa Boonga. So maybe they're kicking themselves in the ass right now. They're going to push all in, as they should at this point, because they should look at what's out there. I mean, I would be concerned somebody has 2 diamonds. I wouldn't be blowing smoke. I mean, she did call you. I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with Red Star's decision here. I mean, he felt confident based on whatever reason he had for this. But ultimately, you have to consider the distinct possibility that somebody could have better cards than you with that many diamonds out on the playing field. So he's bam! He's just showing. He did know at least that the Queen of Diamonds was not an option, but there's still plenty of other diamonds out there. They got 2 pair, so that's not gonna beat 3 of a kind any day of the week, unfortunately. Unless we're playing low ball poker. All right, here we are in the next hand. All right, so Jigglypuff is the big expected winner with just King Jack 10-7, 2 spades in her hand. Red Star's got lots of hearts. Ace high there. He's got, let's see, Papa Boonga. Nothing much there going on. Pair of 8s for Mr. Nobody and Pocahontas. A couple of diamonds. Realistically, nothing too exciting to look at this point in time. So they're going to go ahead and muffle about. We have the big blinds and the small blinds already in. Red Star looks like he's already folded his hand. Papa Boonga made his declarative bet. And everyone called his turn. Okay, we got King of Hearts, Jack of Hearts, 3 of Diamonds. So that Jack is going to help Pocahontas out slightly. Mr. Nobody not feeling nothing special there. Jigglypuff sitting in kind of a better situation, Got 2 pairs right now. You're going to see a lot of 2 pair in Omaha. That's just the natural order of things. It happens far more often than you think. 3 of a kinds happen fairly often too, as you've seen in the last couple of hands. So, and the fact that Papa Boonga is just muddling about, I wouldn't even have thought he even had a hand. But I mean, he was technically in the way of, somewhere towards a straight. But anyway, we have it looks like the 9 of spades. So that doesn't help anybody at all at this point in time. Because Jigglypuff had a queen, but she doesn't. So can't really consider even thinking these. I'm just playing these off in my head. Jigglypuff has the 2 pair. Mr. Nobody's got nothing, and he's the only one still betting. So it looks like he's pushing chips nonetheless. All right, so we get the 6 of clubs. Not going to help anybody there either. He's so drawing dead. He's going to reveal a pair of 8s here in a second.
Okay. So, show your cards, everyone. Everybody see? Yeah. Check some if I do this.
Oh, did Pocahontas go all in and I didn't notice? All right. So that still doesn't change anything. Okay. Jigglypuff wins a 2 pair. Kings and Jacks. Don't play cards against women. That's what my grandfather used to tell me. You never know when they're bluffing because women make better liars than men. Women are more experienced and they do it more frequently. I mean, they lie about pretty much everything. I'm just kidding. There's many, I can't hate on ladies. I mean, many women in my family, for example. My mother is a woman. All right, so Jigglypuff, again, being the big winner, or expected winner anyway, with Ace 8 on suit with diamonds, 6 and 5. Red Star has a pair of 10s, Queen 10 hearts. Papabunga's got king 8 hearts, pair of kings. Mr. Nobody sitting with nothing. King 8, 5, 3. Got 5, 3 on suit hearts. Terrible. Pocahontas, Jack 3, diamonds, pair of jacks. Overall, we see some fairly. I mean, these are all good hands, to be honest with you, for Omaha. Except for Mr. Nobody. That's a high handful of crap. I wouldn't take that hand ever. I guess Jigglypuff's hand's not very good. At least got an ace. Ace 8. Diamonds. I like diamonds. Aces and 8s. I like. So, okay. Papabunga being the aggressor because he's got that chip count. He's going to push Mr. Nobody out of the hand. He folds for good reason. Pocahontas feeling like she's got a pair of jacks at least. Should feel enough confidence to call this bet. I would at least. With a pair of jacks. He did come in pretty good, and we've even seen pairs of queens and kings and aces even, so they're just counting up their chips considering how many of those red little discs they're gonna have to put out. Or just maybe a couple of green ones. There we go. Oh, maybe they might be even going for a raise here. Okay. So Jigglypuff's out of the hand. Didn't like her odds. Red Star with a pair of 10s. Queen, pretty good hand. Should feel pretty confident. Feel more confident than Pocahontas does. I mean, here we go. Here comes the flop. 5, 2 diamonds, queen of spades. That doesn't really adjust the numbers too much, except in favor. Red Star's now got a pair of queens instead of a pair of 10s. Papabunga, nothing really helping out there. Still got that pair of kings though. I mean, it's pair of queens, pair of jacks, pair of kings. I mean, essentially it's that classic combo. So now here he comes in with a fairly sizable bet. I mean, he was the first. I guess Pocahontas must have checked. Red Star is not going to face Papabunga, and Pocahontas, how is she going to react to that bet? She might have left the table. Hope not. That'd be for bad TV. Oh no, she's back. Okay, so gonna feel it. Gonna feel good about that. All right. Money's good. Got to always check the count. Nobody's above the law. You ever had that one guy who's always trying to short count his bets? Like it was like, I call, and he throws in. It's always like one chip short. Oh, there we go. See, there's the jack that she was looking for. Okay, so now the tides have shifted. Third place becomes first place all of a sudden. Let's see, quite frankly, looking pretty sunshiny. So checks all around. And then we see the 10 of clubs, which now, interestingly enough, puts Red Star in a more confident position. But he's still, he's got 3 of a kind, 3 10s, but even he still shouldn't feel too confident. I mean, there's queens out there, there's jacks out there. I mean, he knows that he's got one of the queens, so he's going to be a little bit knowing that there's less likely that somebody's got 2 queens. But Pocahontas keeps apparently checking her bet option, which, I mean, I guess this is one of those check, bet, raise kind of scenarios, hopefully. Papabunga's going to lay his hand down because even though he's got a, pair of kings, that's the interesting thing. So he's got a jack there, but he can't really benefit from it because he's got to use up his 2 kings there. Having pocket pair in Omaha is not actually as great as it sounds. And this is going to be interesting when Pocahontas decides to call this. I would have re-raised all in. They got 3 jacks. I mean,
cool, don't.
It's not gonna be all your money, but you have like only 2 chips. So.
Yeah. Like the last
I tried to play tight, but it's just not happening.
Dealer explaining how big of a bet this is going to be.
I'm really curious because I happen to have 2 kings, so I don't think you both have a straight at least.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
No? Yeah, she doesn't have.
That's gotta hurt. That's gotta hurt. You feel like that. You feel all confident. You got 3 tens. And then you get revealed like that. You don't seem to see how this plays out. Because we already know she wins all the money. So guys, that's it for tonight. That's all of our Late Night Poker Omaha. I hope you enjoyed that. This is our first in this particular series of videos. If you enjoyed it, leave a comment down below. Make sure to clickety-clack that like button. Ring-a-ding-ding that notification bell if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel by banging, pushing real good. That big red subscribe button. Press it. Guys, my name's Dominic. This is the All-American Casino Guide, reminding you as always, play responsibly.